This is a quick guide to installing and setting up Visual Studio Code. The easiest way to get started is to type in Visual Studio Code into your browser, then click on the Microsoft website and download the version of VSC that is right for your setup, either Mac, Windows or Linux. Once installed and opened, you're going to see a window like this. The first thing we want to do is to install some extensions. So if you click on the extensions icon on the left navigation pane, and the first one we're going to install is Python. So simply type Python in the search box. And the one we want is the first option on the list there. Next, click Install, and it will install the extension, allowing VSC to recognize and mark up Python code. The next extension that we are interested in is the Jupyter extension that will allow us to view, edit, and run Jupyter notebooks within VSC. It's the same thing, search for Jupyter, click Install, and that extension is very quickly installed. And the last extension we need is Remote SSH. So that is an extension to allow VSC to securely connect to Gadi, which is where we're going to be doing our work. So same thing, search for Remote SSH. It's the first one there, so just click Install. And once that's done, we're good to go. Now that we have our extensions sorted, the next thing to do is to connect to Gadi. So we want to click on the Remote SSH icon on the left. Then click the plus arrow to create a new connection. The address for Gadi is gadi.nci.org.au. Press enter. At this point, it will ask you to create a config of some type. I've already done that. So once you've done that, press connect. And it will open a new window. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see opening remote. It will then prompt you for your NCI password. So type that in and press enter. This can take a few seconds, but once the connection has been made, the default location it will take us to is our NCI Gadi home folder, which you can see at the bottom of the terminal there. It's taken me to my home. Now, to make things more convenient, ideally we'd like to add our folder on the left-hand panel there. So click the button Open Folder. It defaults to my home folder, so that's probably the first thing I'd like to add, so I always have easy access to my home folder. This can take a few seconds and you will be prompted for your NCI password again. But once that's loaded, we'll see the contents of our home folder in the left-hand panel. To add another folder, you can, under the File menu, you can select Add Folder to Workspace. So now we want to add the location of the hackathon files. So this would be in Scratch NF33, which is the hackathon project. Then your NCI username, in my case that's there. And then CMIP7 hackathon. You can select it from the bottom and press enter as well to skip through. Then once you press OK, that file is now also added to the left-hand panel. So now I have quick access to both my home and the CMIP7 hackathon file, which is great. You can see here all the files are there. You can also use this as a shortcut to a terminal. So under Run, if you choose New Terminal, it actually asks you, would you like a terminal in either of the folders you've already opened? So if I select CMIP7 hackathon, I now have a terminal straight into my CMIP7 hackathon folder, which is very convenient. Now, lastly, here's a quick introduction to how we would go about working in VSC. So, for example, under the CMIP7 hackathon folder there, we have all our recipes. And if we take a look under Ocean and then Depth Profiles, there's a ESMValTool recipe file there. We could just open it in the window and have a look at it, edit it, make any changes we wish. We can also open two files at once to compare them. So as an example, if we went down to CICE and selected the primary recipe there, but right click and chose open to the side, it will open a new panel with that recipe in it. Or if you click and drag, you can put them next to each other as tabs so you can compare them side by side, which is really convenient. That's the end of the tutorial, and I hope you enjoy the hackathon.